Hello, my name is James Spiro and this is Tech Tel Aviv. I'm joined now with Aviel Erdis, the co-founder and CEO of CheckMate. Aviel, hi.
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. I'd like to start, please, by asking what it is that CheckMate does specifically, please.
Yeah, of course. So CheckMate's mission is to solve the booming problem of authorized push payment fraud, APP, or sometimes called scams. So essentially, what is authorized fraud? We tend to think that the safest place to keep your money is the bank. But the bad news is that cybercriminals have realized that they essentially realize how to sidestep the entire digital fortress that banks have been building up for decades. So instead of attacking the customer's account, they're now attacking the customer themselves. So today, the Trojan Horse is actually the customer. It works like this. So they convince the customer using a variety of sophisticated technologies that they are about to make a payment to what they think is a legitimate person. So, for example, they can go to TikTok, download a 30-second voice print of a child, then call their parents saying that they've been kidnapped or that they're in the ER and need an immediate payment. They can deep fake the CEO of a major corporation and have the finance team make an emergency payment to one of the vendors. They can spoof call a customer of the bank, pretending to be the police or the actual bank itself, convincing them that they need to make in a payment to keep their funds safe. It comes in many shapes and forms. So what the common denominator is that they use these technologies to convince the customer that they need to make the payment urgently and that the recipient of the payment is actually a legitimate receiver. And this has caused a huge problem for the banks because until now, banks have really been focused on preventing unauthorized fraud, like account takeover. And the way that they've done this is to monitor for anomalies such as IP in your IP or device, etc., to kind of ask, to make sure that the person logging into the account is actually their customer. But in an authorized fraud scenario, by definition, it is the customer. So essentially, the question they have to ask is no longer who is logging in and making this payment, but is the customer really intending to make the payment? That's a much harder question to ask.
Yeah, and also the why they're logging in, I guess.
Exactly. What's behind this payment? Should they really be making this payment? So they have to protect the customer from themselves. And that's created a huge problem across the world. $10 billion losses last year only in the US. The UK has come out with recent regulations to kind of try and put an end to this, which is the #1 cause of financial loss in the UK, as many countries around the world.
Okay, wow, that's amazing. Thank you for the overview. So do you help then the banks? Is that who you work with specifically?
Exactly. We allow the banks with our technology to protect their customers. Banks have realized that the number of customers is essentially equal to the number of vulnerabilities that they have in their security apparatus.
And access points, right?
Exactly.
Every customer is an access point.
So once we're after several POCs, and we've been able to demonstrate tremendous value to banks. And once they implement our technology, they can keep their customers safe from this emerging and booming threat of authorized push payment fraud.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. And so the customers, if all goes to plan, the bank customers, I mean, they don't even know that you guys are operating, right?
Exactly. For the customers, we're behind the scenes, obviously keeping catch rates as high as possible and false positives as low as possible to avoid unnecessary friction. But yes, we work directly with the fraud prevention teams at the banks to allow safe payments to go through and block suspicious payments from ever leaving the account.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. And do you folks only work with banks, or are there any other customers that you made? I mean, I don't want to use the dreaded word of crypto, but are there any other payment or movement areas that you operate in?
Yeah, so not only banks. We work with any payment service providers or financial institutions which are connected to payment rails and are facilitating payments. The way our technology works is that instead of looking for anomalies in a specific parameter, we build in-depth profiles for every single customer in the bank. So each customer receives like a personal defense against cyber attacks and payment fraud. And then if a customer deviates from what is their known character, then that will be a trigger that will pop the system into action and say, wait, maybe we should slow this payment down, right? So that's the first layer of what we're doing. The second layer of what we're doing is actually something that we're kicking off in this quarter between two major banks in Israel, Bank Leumi and another major bank. And that is a live network so that we can do essentially a 200% verification. So we analyze the sender to make sure that this payment is within their known profile and is a typical account behavior. But we also then go in and analyze the receiving account on their live and up-to-date data at their bank and send that risk score back to the sending bank. And we do that without any PII or data whatsoever leaving the bank. So each bank retains full control of their own data. And we're only exchanging that risk score. And this is a really first of it doesn't exist anywhere in the world for account-to-account payments. And it allows the sending bank to kind of gain a critical insight, where is the money going on the other side of the payment, and have that data before the money leaves the account.
Wow, it sounds great. It sounds super important. And as a Bank Lumi customer myself, I'm looking forward to you folks getting into your hard work. Thank you so much, Aviel. I'm afraid that's all the time we have.
Thank you so much.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to see it tackle the 10 billion trillion.
10 billion in the US
10
alone.
billion.
Yeah.
I can't wait to bring that number down a bit.
Hopefully.
See how you folks do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.